Why aren't we going green, getting slimmer, scrolling less? What's stopping us from becoming the people we think we want to be? Hello, my dear eco-visionaries. I'm Anastasia, a climate psychologist and master coach. Welcome to my channel. Here I will help you to manage anxiety and find practical ways to address the climate crisis with my PASS method, which stands for psychology, science, art, and synergy. Here you'll get expert tips, clear climate science, and creative solutions. Please subscribe to stay connected. Today, we're going to explore what stops us from achieving our goals and becoming the people we aspire to be. I'll explore why we're not going green or making other important changes, using the discounting matrix as our guide. By the end, you'll have a clearer picture of the barriers you face and how to overcome them. I'll mostly use examples from the climate agenda, but these ideas are relevant to any behavior change. But be aware, if blissful ignorance is your choice, stop here. But if you are ready to confront hard truth and strip away unawareness, keep watching. If you want to change but aren't doing anything about it, let me explain why. Think about this. I've never met anyone who doesn't love nature or enjoys seeing trash everywhere. We all seem to agree on a few things. We love nature, we don't want our planet to become uninhabitable, we dislike swimming in garbage, right? So why aren't we taking action? Let me introduce you to the discounting matrix by Mellor and Zygmunt. It might seem complex at first, but don't worry, I'll explain it simply and with examples. This matrix has been a game changer for me, helping me start my career as a climate coach and even run this YouTube channel. So here's the beauty of it. The matrix has 12 quadrants, and we move from T1 to T6. It's like a game. We move only diagonally, and we can only progress if we stop ignoring something. It's a stratum cell. If we are in total denial, we can't move forward in the matrix. To win the game, we need to realize what we are ignoring. Let's start with T1, the complete blind spot. We don't recognize that something is wrong. Think of children. They not only have no idea about the climate crisis, but they barely understand the concept of climate itself. As adults, we can also have blind spots about our own behaviors. Take, for example, the habit of drinking a glass of wine or beer every night. It's just a fact of life, something we could not analyze or question, but there may be a problem behind it. In a way, the ignorance is bliss. With much wisdom comes much sorrow. But if you are not one of these blissfully unaware individuals and you recognize that something might be off, then let's dig deeper. Grab a piece of paper or a clipboard and write down an action you'd like to change. Think about an area of your life where you might have a blind spot. What habit or behavior do you engage in without question? Write down one or two things you suspect might be a problem, but haven't fully acknowledged yet. Maybe you've noticed you scroll too much on your phone, or maybe you think to improve your physical fitness. Let's uncover your blind spots together and take the first step towards meaningful change. Also, we might acknowledge the stimuli, but downplay its significance. In the example with the climate crisis, we think it's not a big deal. Some places will get better, others worse, don't scare us. Or, as for life, 5 extra pounds isn't much. Plenty of people weigh more and are just fine. If this sounds like you, write it down. Write down a couple of areas in your life where you feel there may be problems requiring solutions. Think about your health, work, and relationships. Now we'll uncover what holds us back. At the end of the video, I'll give you a small exercise to help you start making changes. Stay tuned for the next week's video, where we will discuss the results. Our next quadrant is T2, where we move to the existence of a problem. We stay glued to our phones or carry extra weight, but we don't see it as an issue. In terms of climate activism, it's when we don't recognize climate change as a problem. We shrug it off saying, it's always been like this, or it's been worse before. Reflect on those blind spots and areas of life you've written. Write down what potential problems do you see. Write down 1 or 2 reasons you've been telling yourself they aren't a big deal. Even if we agree that something is a problem, we convince ourselves that the existing problem is not significant, that everyone lives like this, and we are no more miserable than anyone else. When it comes to climate change or meta crisis, that is the essence of climate denial, the belief that the planet's problems are not significant. But here's the turning point. When we finally admit there is a significant problem, it starts to worry us. We stop ignoring the issue and begin to accept that what is happening matters deeply. And recognizing the significance of the problem is the first step towards meaningful change. As we move forward, let's see what holds you back and how we can address it. Look at the problems you have written. Pause the video if you need and think about what will happen if you continue to ignore these problems. How significant could the consequences be? If you agree that the problems you have now or could potentially face are significant, then let's move forward. Even when we recognize the problem and its importance, it doesn't mean we are going to do anything about it. We often ignore the possibility that the situation could be different. Yes, we see the issue, we know it matters, but we resign ourselves to the idea that it is what it is. This is inevitability and fatalism at work. But who decided you can't live the way you want to live? Who decided your fate? When we start noticing examples of change in books, in other people, or through a leap of faith, we begin to believe that transformation is possible. And this belief is the spark that ignites real change. But it's still easy to remain stuck. So let's keep exploring what holds us back and how we can overcome it. Even when we recognize the problem and understand its seriousness, we often ignore that a solution exists. We think, yes, there is a problem, and it's serious, but there is no solution yet. Like with CO2 emissions, we wait for a new technology to be invented and tell ourselves there is no need to act until then. Unfortunately, this mindset is something I encounter all the time, both as individual coach and in my work on climate issues. How often do we say, there is nothing that can be done here? Deep inside we know there are opportunities, but we believe they are not for us. Or we have certain fears. We are more comfortable sitting back and maintaining the status quo. We might not be satisfied with our situation and recognize our problems, but we've adapted. Any change forces us to face the unknown and challenges we fear we can't handle. Our brains naturally try to keep us safe. Let me share a personal story. It's a huge part of why I'm here today. A while back, I got my master's degree in marketing, a field I was absolutely in love with. I jumped into my career, eager to make a difference and help people. At first, everything seemed great. I was moving up the ladder and learning a lot. But something was missing. My dream of understanding consumer needs and making people happier quickly turned into a harsh reality of advertising campaigns and price manipulations. For someone who values honesty as much as I do, this was soul-crushing. But what was I supposed to do? I had spent several long years earning that degree. I kept telling myself, just be patient, it will get better. Unfortunately, it didn't. I was taking huge steps towards becoming burnout and apathy without even realizing it. My passion was fading and I felt trapped. Then, one day, everything changed. I came across a catalog from the British School of Design. And as I flipped through the pages, a program in interior design caught my eye. It was like a spark ignited inside me. Curious and a bit desperate, I attended a presentation at the university. The moment I walked in, I felt an immediate sense of belonging. It was like coming home, but I still didn't know what to do. Changing careers seemed impossible. The obstacles leaving marketing, finding money, starting over were terrifying. But I realized that there were actually multiple ways out of my situation. It wasn't easy and it took time and a lot of soul searching, but I eventually made the leap. And this journey taught me that recognizing a problem is one thing, but believing in the possibility of change is another. And that's the next level of our matrix. Now, think about the problems you've admitted are important. Do you believe there are solutions out there? Write down any potential solutions you've heard or thought about, even if they seem far-fetched. When you're done with the list, count how many solutions you have written and write twice more. Yes, it's possible. I'd like to stop the video here, so you can take the time to work through the quadrants we've been studying. It's a tough job, and not a pleasant one. We hate realizing that our results are consequences of ignoring our problems. And it's our responsibility to solve them. Today, we've explored why we aren't taking action on issues that matter to us and identified the barriers that hold us back. By examining the discounted matrix, we've started to explore our blind spots and recognize the significance of our problems. Acknowledging these issues is the first step towards the change we desire. Reflect on the questions I've asked, and if needed, consider to direct mail me if you need any assistance. We'll continue in a week and address all the reasons that are holding you back. Please subscribe to support me. Your subscription sustains this project and makes a real difference, helping me assist you with your well-being while coping with the meta crisis we're living in. See you next week. Mm-hmm.